First of all, welcome to this course on causing incredible performance. I thank you for your interest to learn how to cause incredible performance. So I want to say a couple of things about this course and what is thereafter. In this course, you will understand the causing incredible performance framework. The causing incredible performance framework is what will help you to achieve incredible performance. And once you have understood the causing incredible performance framework, you need to apply the framework to actually cause incredible performance in your life. It's the application of the framework that will help you cause incredible performance. Only understanding the framework to whatever level of depth you have understood will not help you to understand the causing incredible performance. And should you need any coaching when you apply the framework or even to understand the framework, there are people you can contact, and I've given the link for people who you can contact. You can actually contact anyone else. The CIP framework has 3 foci and 10 action principles. And for each action principle, there are actions and there are tools for you to take those actions. Let's go to what the 3 foci are. First, we're talking about measurable results. In fact, the CIP framework obsessively focuses on results, and that too measurable results. And it's not any kind of result which you are focusing on. You are focusing on producing results after you set goals. So what does it mean? In CIP framework, you will first set an incredible goal and then take actions to produce results which will help you achieve your goal. What is to be called an incredible goal and what actions to take, we will come to later. The second obsessive focus of the CIP framework is actions. And why actions? Suppose I ask you, what produces results? Any kind of result in anything in life. You may come up with a whole range of answers, like it is my competence, it is my dedication, it is my passion, my interest, the resources available to me, the opportunities I get, the kind of people I work with, my boss, my team, etc., etc., etc. Every one of them is valid. The point is, these don't produce results. Only actions produce results. You can have all of them which you listed, and if you don't take actions, you don't produce results. Therefore, the causing incredible performance framework focuses obsessively on actions. The third focus of the CIP framework is on the individual, which means that it is not on organizations, it is not on teams, etc., etc. You're not looking at the framework to change something in its framework does not require you to change something in the organizational system or a process or anything like that. It is focused on the individual. Why? It's because simply only individuals have goals and only individuals take actions. So the third focus, obsessive focus of the CIP framework is on the individual who wants to cause incredible results. So what are the 10 action principles? I'll give you the list of it, give you very, very brief about each one of them, and then in the remaining sessions we'll go deep dive into each one of those action principles. For any performance, and therefore causing incredible performance too, we have to start with setting an incredible goal. We call this action principle declare an incredible goal. And what do we mean by an incredible goal and what do we mean by declare are things which we learn later. So start with declaring an incredible goal. And once you have declared an incredible goal, you need to have a compelling purpose to achieve the goal. A compelling purpose is that one strong reason which will make you achieve this goal come what may. And you have to discover it. Why should we discover it and how to discover it later on in the course. And once you have declared an incredible goal and a compelling purpose to achieve that goal, you rally others. There are people whose support you need to achieve your goal, and you need to rally them. And you and the people who rally, you have to execute your action plans with ruthless focus. We know about focus, we know about execution. What differentiates possibly the causing incredible performance is executing with ruthless focus. Before we move on, I want you to know that by ruthless, we don't mean being inhuman. It is just that we are not merciful to let us be distracted by other things. And as you go along in the journey of causing incredible performance, you have to review your progress and take any actions which that review suggests. We call this foreview for the future. Why we call this foreview for the future and not simply review for the future? And why we call it review foreview for the future and not foreview the future? Those things we will learn later. And when you foreview for the future, you may realize that there are certain obstacles which do not allow you to achieve the results you want to achieve, that is, achieve your goal. You need to overcome those obstacles. And that is the next action principle which we are talking about. So there are 6 action principles which you are very brief about. Now, what are the remaining 10? Remaining 4. The remaining 4 are reset mind, be present, simplify, commit, and act. These 4 are action principles which you will apply in everything else which you are doing, the remaining 6 action principles, or even amongst these itself. For instance, for you to declare an incredible goal, you have to be present, you have to be conscious of what is the situation you are in, what have you done so far, and what does the future look like, etc., etc. And you may have certain kinds of thoughts which you may have to reset. Alter your thoughts so that you can actually come up with an incredible goal. For instance, oftentimes our thought says, hey, don't stretch yourself. Be comfortable. When your thought says, your mindset says, be comfortable, you will not set an incredible goal for yourself. Like that. So, we leave it at this, that these 4 other principles, reset mind, be present, simplify, commit, and account, are the ones you are going to be doing, you are going to be applying very, very frequently. And we actually call these, in Causing Incredible Performance Framework, foundation action principles. What does it mean? It means that you need to have a very strong practice of resetting mind, being present, simplifying, and committing and accounting. If your practice of these 4 principles is strong, then you will be able to apply the remaining 6 of them strongly. So my invitation to you is focus quite a lot on these 4. And even amongst these 4 foundation action principles, commit and account is a foundation to the foundation itself. That's too critical. Without committing and without accounting, you will not be able to do the remaining 9. So, these are the 10 action principles. Now, you would notice that first of all, And we are calling these action principles, like other principles in life, honesty. Or let's say I want to be disciplined. My principle is to be disciplined. So it's principles like that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, these are action principles. So go back to one of the second obsessive focus of the CIP being on action. So what are the actions people should take to achieve the incredible goals they set? These actions are governed by these 10 action principles. And when we say actions governed by these 10 action principles, each action principle has certain actions. You need to take those actions. Or at any time you are practicing a principle, you are practicing any principle in life in action. So, for instance, when you say commit an account, what actions should one take to practice this principle called commit an account? So there are a set of actions. Similarly, if you want to rally others, what actions should you take to rally others? So that's there in the action principle called rally others. So these 10 action principles have, each one of them has a set of actions. These are actions which we will talk about in the remaining of the course. And for you to take actions, any action, you need tools. For instance, if you want to cook, you need tools to cook. If you want to hang a picture on the wall, you need tools for it. If you want to go through this course, you need a tool possibly called a computer or a mobile phone, whatever. Right? So for every action which for us to take, we need tools, and we have a set of tools for many of these actions. So what does it mean? We now summarize saying that the causing incredible performance which you will learn are that contains these 10 action principles, and you will learn the actions under each action principle, and you will learn the tools to apply in various actions. Let's move to the next one. So before we move on to the various action principles, actions, and tools and the thing, let's get a grasp of some terms which we very frequently use in causing incredible performance. The very first term is a goal. Go back to the focus of CIP being tangible results against preset goals. Now, what do we mean by a goal? Goal is what one intends to achieve. You can call it a target, you can call it an objective, you can call it an aim, you can call it anything. But here we use the term goal. Number two, a result is what one actually achieves. You set a goal, that is what you want to achieve. For instance, you may set a goal saying that, okay, I want to learn this particular subject in a given period of time. That is what you want to achieve. That's the result you want, learning that subject in that given period of time. At the end of the given period of time, you would have learned certain things in that subject, some part of the subject or the whole of the subject. So what did you actually learn is the result which you produce. You may take up a goal, you may want to achieve let's say a revenue of certain $1,000, right, or $1 million in a given period of time, in a quarter. So your goal may be a revenue of more than or equal to, let's say, $100,000 in the next quarter. And in the next quarter, we find out what actually is a revenue you achieve, and that's the result you produce. So you want to be clear that result and goal are different. Goal is what you want to achieve, result is what you actually achieve. Action. Action is what you do, right? So for you to achieve a goal, an intended result of $100,000 in the next quarter, There is a set of actions you need to take to achieve that. For only actions produce results. So actions are what one does, maybe you and maybe a whole lot of others who have to take actions to achieve this goal of 100,000 US dollars in the next quarter. The next term we want to be clear about is what do you mean by causing? Causing means making something happen deliberately and not letting something happen. Sometimes results happen, and the results which happen may be what we want to achieve the goal, but that's leaving it to chance. But here we are talking about you setting a goal, you taking the action, and you producing the result in a deliberate manner. You're making something happen. That is a goal getting achieved. You are making something happen. That means you are doing action. So, causing means making something happen deliberately and not letting something happen. And what do we mean by deliberate? There are three aspects of deliberate. When you say I am doing something deliberately, you are first of all purposeful, which means you have set a goal. You have set a target, you have set an objective you have. That's what we call purpose. Second, you need to be thoughtful to achieve the goal. One kind of a thoughtfulness is about what actions need to be taken to achieve the goal. So think through the actions to take, the resources needed to take that action and all. Third is willingly. When I say I am doing something deliberately, I am doing it out of my willingness, my volition, no compulsion of that. So deliberately has these three components: purposeful, thoughtful, and willing. So when you say I'm causing something, causing an incredible performance, you are purposefully, thoughtfully, and willingly setting and taking actions so that you achieve that goal and not let that incredible goal be achieved somehow by itself, by happenstance. Then we have this term performance. Performance includes both actions and the results. You can't differentiate. You can't talk about only actions but not results, and only results but not actions. For actions and results are like two sides of your palm, right? So you can't. Every action will produce results, some result, and for any result to be produced, you need to take action. So performance, by performance, in causing incredible performance, we talk about actions and results. And what's to be called? What do we mean by incredible? So incredible is something beyond normal. For instance, I ask you, okay, what is the normal revenue you will produce next quarter? Based on your past experiences, based on your growth, which has been happening in the past few quarters, and whatever you can see for the future, whatever you can imagine you're sure of in the future, I ask you, what is the revenue which you are most likely to achieve, which will be normal? You may say $70,000. Say, okay, what can your goal be beyond that? You say, okay, $100,000. And what did you achieve? $100,000, something more than that, or something less than that. So whatever you achieve, even if it is slightly less than the $100,000, if you set as a goal, it will be incredible because it's far beyond what you normally produce, which is 40,000. Let me give you a couple of examples, a few examples to realize what we mean by causing incredible performance. What do we mean by incredible? The kind of results people have actually produced. In a milk powder plant, they would have normally taken 18 hours to wet clean that plant, a milk powder plant. This time, they cleaned it in 13 hours. Normally, they would have taken 18 hours. This time, they cleaned it in 13 hours. That's not normal. That's incredible. So, take another case. A project team which was having an effort overrun. That is, the actual effort which is more than the estimated effort. That's called the effort overrun. That effort to overrun was about 72%. In the normal course of events, the project manager, with whatever action she could take, she would have reduced it to about 60% in a period of 3 months. In this case, she actually reduced to 34% in a period of 3 months and to 4.2% in the next 7 weeks. That would be far beyond normal. So, these are some examples, couple of examples of to give you a flavor of what we mean by beyond normal. And when people have applied this CIP framework, they have produced results which are 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x. Critical thing to realize when we say incredible is it is not only beyond normal, it is not something slightly beyond normal. It's not talking about a given performance and a slight improvement over the performance. We are talking about far, far beyond what would be given an improvement. So incredible means far beyond normal. And when we actually look at the action principle called declare an incredible goal, we will learn deeper into how to set an incredible goal. What do you mean by incredible goal and how to set that? Those things we will look at later. Okay, so that brings us to the close of this introductory session on causing incredible performance. I look forward to you coming to the next session where we'll straight away take on each action principle and go deep dive into each one. Thank you.
Cool. I have one question. Can you give me an example, like what you mentioned about the wet cleaning process coming down from 18 hours to 13 hours? Can you walk me through what did you guys do? Like, what did the organization do? What did the people involved do? What did you? And how did they apply the framework?
Okay.
Like before and after kind of scenario, if you will.
Yeah. So this is a very concrete experience of ours where there is a dairy plant. And the dairy plant, milk plant, right? Deals with dairy products. And one of the plants there is to produce milk powder. They have actually many milk powder plants. And one of those plants has a capacity to produce 60 metric tons of milk powder per day. That's the capacity. This plant was commissioned way back in 2001, 2002. And the milk powder plant needs to be regularly cleaned. There is a cleaning cycle. And that cleaning cycle comes once in 15 days. And the process for cleaning it is called wet cleaning. I don't know the details of wet cleaning. I'm not a dairy technologist, but then it's called wet cleaning. They apply water and a few chemicals to clean the plant so that they can get the plant ready for the next production batch. And when they started the plant, they used to take 28 hours to clean the plant once, which means more than a day. And over a period of 13 years, by 2013-14, they had reduced the time to clean without sacrificing the quality of cleaning to 13 hours. So over a period of 12 years, they reduced the time for cleaning from 28 hours to 18 hours, that is by 10 hours. And it so happened that a group of 75 people in the company, starting with the chief executive to various levels of management, went through a 3-day program to understand the CIP framework. Right? And one of the persons there took on this job, took on a challenge of saying, okay, now that we have learned the CIP framework, let's apply the framework and see what we can reduce the the cleaning time too. And what they did, I know, is that they applied the CIP framework. They committed to reduce the cleaning time to maybe 14 hours and took those, applied the action principles. Not only the guy who was in charge of this, but also his team members who had gone through this program, all of them put together, applied the CIP framework, and reduced this time in the next one shot by 5 hours. Right? Something got reduced. It took them 12 years to reduce by 10 hours, and it took them one shot to reduce by 5 hours. And what I understand is that these 5 hours reduction, that is 13 hours of cleaning the time taken to clean the plant, has been continuing for more than a year after that, and they have also reduced it further. So what did they do? They applied the CIP framework. Apart from applying their technical domain knowledge in cleaning the plant, that they anyway had, right? The competence to clean the domain knowledge and skill which are required to clean the plant, they already had. What they put on top of that was the actions under the various action principles, which made them achieve this result.
Got it. Got it. Cool.